Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Real Hosts of Short-Term Rentals. We are very excited to have a special guest with us today. We've got Alex McBride, and she is going to talk to us about decorating your rental and putting everything in it. She works with various brands and puts together partnerships. So, Alex, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
So maybe we could start off with a little bit of an overview for those who don't know about Minoan. What is it? What does it do? How does it help hosts, etc.?
Yes, absolutely. So Minoan is a B2B2C model. And so what that means is we are connecting our brand partners to our guests via properties. So as a host, I am able to come to Minoan, find everything I need for my initial setup of my property, everything from headboards to pizza cutters to coffee and dog treats. And then I'm able to port all of that into a digital showroom where my guests are able to shop their stays. And what that means is that not only am I getting the best available pricing on the B2B side, but also it reduces my payback period of the investment that I'm making on my property because I'm able to earn commission on all of the various selections that I've put into my property. We are working with tens of thousands of hosts who are really, really thoughtful about the details and the procurement process. So Minoan not only makes it really easy because everything's in one place and you have a consolidated cart, but also you're able to see what's resonating with your guests and use that really rich data to, continue to make improvements and just really be close with your property and its performance.
Can you extrapolate a little bit about what's resonating with your guests? How would you know what resonates with them?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, guests are able to shop their stay. So we're able to see, wow, like guests are buying purple mattresses, or guests really love the fellow tea kettle. We're able to across hundreds of thousands of SKUs really see what they're discovering during their stay.
That's amazing. And how, if somebody comes to your site to purchase products, how will they know what products are high up on guests' like list, so to speak, and which ones are not so high?
That's a really great question. So currently we are quite literally right in the middle. So this is a great time to be having this conversation of launching some site features. So that will include different collections that are Minoan picks that we know, number one, are really great quality. Number two, that our other hosts love. I myself have a background in hospitality interior design. So many of the items are pieces that I've used. And then also we are rolling out collections that are specifically guest favorites. So again, using that data that we have to showcase the items that guests just can't leave their stay without.
There are on the call today, and two of our members have a design background. So I'd love for Dina and for Ray to chime in on questions that they have relating to design.
Ray, it's all you, Ray.
Me? Yeah. Dina, you had something before I had, so if you want to go ahead.
Well, I love that you guys have the data. Minoan has the data that helps me choose a product that has rave reviews with guests, because that's such a common question I get all the time from owners is like, what mattress do I buy? And in my particular market, I know because I get rave reviews on a particular product, it helps you make decisions quickly, especially when there's so many to make when furnishing a property. I love that you guys have the stats on that work, what works with, your furnished rental guests. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really powerful. And I think, prior to the showroom data, most hosts, I would imagine, were just kind of skimming their reviews. And as we know, guests leave a review when they had a really fabulous experience or when they had maybe not such a fabulous experience. And so this just gives us deeper insight to the guest's opinion when maybe they haven't left a review. So I agree, coming from the hospitality space, I think that this data is so valuable.
And I have to, I think this is just part of my praise portion of this is that like I love Minoan so much. It really helps with my business, both on the short-term rental side and also the design side, because it actually allows me to, if I wanted to, mask my price and come up with a new pricing for them if I need to, or I can share my discounts with them, give them the invoice and share it with the customer directly. And then I give them portal access. They get to see everything, not so much the samples yet, but I think that's one of the things that I'd like to maybe ask is what then does that look like on the user experience? Once we have all of these different vendors in our list, how are we able to kind of test, try them, and is there a way we can do that with our clients as well?
That is a really great question. I would say more to come on that. We have started to test that with our enterprise accounts. So our property management groups and certainly our boutique hotels where, we know that they are going to be making purchases at volume and we really want to make sure that the scents are right, that the texture is right, etc. But I totally see how valuable that experience can be when you're making a decision even for a singular property. So I will take that note and I think that that's absolutely something that myself and the head of brand partnerships can explore for the coming quarters.
Yeah, amazing.
So I was really impressed with the number of partnerships that you've done. And I come from a business development background, so I know what that's like putting those together. But I think that our audience would be pretty impressed to hear some of the names of the partners that you've been able to acquire. Can you extrapolate on that?
Yes, absolutely. So we have partnerships with a lot of your popular retailers. That's Crate and Barrel and Wayfair and Our House. But we also have a lot of really niche partnerships with toiletry suppliers. So Public Goods and Distinctive Supply, we just rolled out. Amenities, we launched a partnership with Almost Heaven Saunas in January, and that has performed extremely well. Everything from your big mattress brands, we work closely with Purple and Bear and Lisa and a lot of those really wonderful vendors. And I think that, we are focused on just continuing to ensure that no matter what our hosts need, that it's available on Minoan. And so there are a lot of exciting partnerships in the works. But I would say that if anyone out there has not explored the categories, do so because we have such a vast assortment, to your point, Lawrence.
Well, this is a little bit off topic, but I was just wondering if you could walk us through the guest experience. If I'm going to stay in a place and I really like that sofa, for example, how do I go decide I want one like that? What's my experience as a
Yes,
guest?
it's a great question. It's a great question. So there is a Minoan touch point in each property. It's a QR code, excuse me, that a guest can scan. And when they scan that QR code, they are taken to a digital showroom. So essentially, it is a shoppable experience where you have all of the items listed by room. And then they are able to click on an item and they are directed to that brand partner's D2C site. So on the brand partner side, it's a really, really robust experience because not only are you getting, the B2B sales, but also you are getting all of those retail sales. Again, you're seeing that volume. And then it's also listed in all of the marketing, collateral. So that's your reservation confirmation, all of your thank you emails as a link that you're able to shop immediately. But also, if you can't stop thinking about something, certainly there we do see, a lag time between when a guest leaves a property and then comes back to purchase. Of like, man, I just can't stop thinking about that sauna experience, or I just can't stop thinking about, that wonderful cup of coffee that I had, and then come back to make a purchase.
So it's not just physically in place, you can also put it in your communication. That's
Exactly
pretty
right.
cool.
Yes, and we just recently actually launched a showroom gallery where guests are able to kind of explore other showrooms that exist within the Minoan ecosystem. And so again, just a really robust shopping experience that we are working on really enveloping into our procurement platform so that hosts can also see all of that
Alex, I wanted to ask you if I go directly to Wayfair and I make the purchases that I need versus going through Minoan, is it more than just a convenience of having everything together? Is there a discount that I get going through Minoan?
Yes, absolutely. So Minoan prides ourselves, and it's quite literally part of my core job function to ensure that we are getting the best possible discounts for our hosts. So we, across all of our brand partners, we negotiate the best pricing available. For Wayfair specifically, that's an additional discount on top of pro pricing. But to your point, there's also a lot of value in the consolidation that we offer, really just project management. As a host, when you are sourcing everything for your property, and I can only imagine, spreadsheets and order receipts and all of that, Minoan really does offer just such a value in having everything consolidated. We are updating tracking. You're able to communicate with our customer support team at every step of the journey. And if there's any issues, we're there to partner with our hosts to resolve. The discount is a huge, advantage of Minoan. But I would also say that consolidated project management is really wonderful, especially for replacements too. Again, I mentioned that my background is in hospitality design, and the amount of times when something broke or walked away and we needed to replace it, and there was just no record of what we had purchased in the first place. So that is also just really fantastic for record keeping and being able to really maintain your property.
No, that's great. I mean, I think that pricing is one thing, but the having everything centralized and as you mentioned, just being able to track everything because I mean, I'm going to have a list of probably over 200 to 300 items, if not more, that I need to order, that I need to track, that may be delayed, etc. So to have that centralized and not have to worry about, oh God, when is the sofa going to be arriving, or when is that side table going to be here, and is it going to delay my opening, etc. It makes a big difference.
I wholeheartedly second that.
So that includes like sort of coordinating the deliveries and knowing what's in stock and all that kind of thing. That's
Yes.
awesome.
So most of our shopping experiences are actually directly on our brand partners' websites, and that's by design. We want to make sure that our hosts have the most up-to-date information, and obviously their own sites is where they're putting the bulk of that energy, and so we are able to see up-to-date inventory. If there are any issues, our team is flagging that and making sure that there replacements or some sort of solution as quickly as possible. Within your order, you're able to see by line item what the tracking is for every single item.
Yeah. I do, as a user, I really enjoy that we're able to do that, but that kind of falls into the entire quality of Minoan. Not just, the furniture and the equipment that's coming in, the FF&E and OS&E. Could you talk about more of the quality of the furniture pieces and the partners that you choose, but also the service that you're able to provide? Because once you make that order, it's not just working with the vendors. Your team also comes in and helps if there's anything that comes up.
Yes, absolutely. So I would say that, again, given my experience, I think that we have a very healthy representation of different brands that are going to serve different needs. If you're looking for a really luxury experience, we have that with all of our, with our furniture partners, with our amenity partners. And then, if you're looking for more of an accessible property, we also can help you there as well. And so we've made a concerted effort to make sure that we have a very wide representation. With respect to quality, one kind of in the works again initiative is making sure that we are surfacing different attributes on an item level, but also at the brand level. And so that's things like, this brand has contract grade, this brand has quick ship, this brand has bulk amenities, really just helping our hosts become more educated about what our brand partners offer, both within their assortment, but also at an item level. I would say that in the past, there was maybe some trepidation of certain partners of either I don't recognize them or I haven't heard the best stories anecdotally. And I would say that that really comes down to just item level qualities. So making sure that, you know, your case goods are solid wood, making sure that your upholstery is a performance fabric. You know, all of those attributes that go into the construction of furniture that either will hold up to guest use or will not. And again, I think we have a really, really great representation. And then from a service level perspective, Minoan really wants to be a partner in procurement. Certainly for, you know, setup initially, but also for replenishment and just in, you know, the huge effort it is to maintain a property and operate a property as an independent host. So tracking and solving issues, whether that's a delayed shipment or a damaged shipment, you know, everything to taking recommendations from our hosts. We have quite a few brand partners on platform currently that were host recommended because we want to listen. You know, we want to be the best partner, and so I think that that is really what the service that Minoan provides is. You know, we want to be your partner, and if there's anything that we could be doing better, differently, if there are gaps in the assortment, we want to know that so that we can action on it.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like I see you have the Fable brand for dinnerware, plateware, glassware, cutlery, and we use it in our units. And it's such a sexy brand. The glassware doesn't break, so less replenishment, right? And sustainability. And not a lot of people know about the brand. And it's beautiful dinnerware. So like you're taking out a lot of that guesswork by procuring these brands that already have like a solid reputation. So instead of me comparing 5 different brands out there, like this is fantastic to see things like that. And another pottery company on there for dinnerware as well. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
well,
to,
I'm
to
so
that,
glad you noticed. Sorry, go
yeah,
ahead, Ray.
it's a great brand. I was gonna also say on the other end of things, where some vendors you might not know unless you're working in the luxury space, or you're trying to work with like a smaller brand that has better quality. Like Walker Edison is great. Like a lot of people and a lot of my clients didn't know that Walker Edison existed, and they're such good quality, but it's also affordable and it's accessible to other hosts.
Yes. Absolutely. Another great representation of that is Mopio. It's a brand that not a lot of consumers recognize, but it's actually, they have a lot of really nice solid wood pieces. They do have some engineered wood pieces that would be best for, you know, less utilized case goods, but it's another great example of like an accessible price point that the style is very appealing. And so, you know, featuring their headboards has been wonderful to educate our hosts for sure.
I love that.
So, Alex, if I don't have a designer and I have not the foggiest clue about design, do you have anyone at Minoan that can help me in that respect?
That's a great question. I think it depends on the path that you're looking for. So, as I mentioned, you know, this month we'll be launching Smart Search, which is going to dramatically improve the path to product. We are going to be surfacing what other hosts have purchased. We are going to be surfacing curated collections across categories, which are Minoan picks. And so, if you're looking to self serve, there will be a lot of pathways to discovery. And then absolutely, with respect to designer, we have a really wonderful community of designers on Minoan that we're happy to connect our hosts to. And we also have brand partners that we work with that certainly allow for those services. And so there's a couple different avenues that you can choose, but anyone who's looking for those services, I would just encourage them to reach out and we will absolutely get them connected.
That's great to hear. If I find a sofa that I really like on on a site that you don't have a partnership with, is there any way for me to sort of match that, if you will, to a sofa that where you do have a partner?
Wow, another great question. I wouldn't like programmatically in a scalable way. That is not something that we have at the moment. But what I would say is that we can certainly help you from an attribute perspective. So if it's a sinuous spring and a performance fabric and it's a bench cushion or whatever the construction looks like, I feel very confident that we would have something in our assortment that we could certainly recommend. But again, these are all I'm getting a lot of great ideas. I'm going to have to go back and put some of these on my own roadmap for wow.
So this is interesting. If you can find something similar, I have a piece Is someone doing that manually? Is there a service fee for something like that? Like, because if Lawrence wants to give you his list, because basically he has an interior designer that has his itemized list of goods and likely just a recommendation of products. And if he wants to just solely shop through Minoan, will someone find like this beige sofa commercial fabric 2-seater, whatever, with a pull-out? Like, will someone do that for you?
Again, so it's not a service that we're offering at scale currently, but it is absolutely something that we've talked about. I think that there is so much discovery that it will be unlocked with search and with filters and really being able to self-serve and type in some of those attributes. But we're trying to be very strategic and think through what that looks like. At the moment, it's not something that is offered to our entire Minoan host base, but I do think that it is something that is absolutely on the radar. And Lawrence, I would reach out because I'm sure we could figure something out and help you. But I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. It's not something that we are turning around, at scale.
I come from the tech background, so I'm going to turn the conversation more on the tech side now. There's two different types of structures that you can do from a technology perspective. You can have all the partners on the page and say, well, would you like to shop at Wayfair? Would you like to shop at Macy's or whatever the partnership is? Or you can pull the huge number of SKUs, the item numbers from that partner, and centralize it within Minoan so that all the shopping takes place in Minoan. How does Minoan work in that respect? Do I go to each one of the partners and then get the Minoan discount and everything is pulled into your database? Or do I shop on Minoan through all these SKUs?
So currently it is the former. So we have all of our brand partners on Minoan, and we actually have a Chrome extension that follows our hosts as they shop on retail sites. And again, the reason being, there were kind of two core reasons for that. The first is that we didn't necessarily want to limit an assortment if a host really wanted to buy something that was potentially outside of the typical hospitality scope, let's say. And so it was an effort to really be expansive and offer everything, as I mentioned. However, I think that what we've discovered is that there is a lot of decision paralysis when you are shopping nearly 200 brand partners at their entire assortment, right? And so that is the effort that we are making with features like search, where we're able to surface the assortment. You will still shop on the brand page for anything that is not featured on site, but you're able to add to cart directly from those search results, from curated collections. So we're trying to give you kind of the best of both worlds. And I don't know that, I feel confident that there will be future iterations of what shopping on Minoan looks like. But I think currently it's a mixture of Minoan recommendations, what hosts are purchasing. As I mentioned, we'll get very robust data from what guests are purchasing. But then if there's something that you can't find, we're not gonna hold you back. We encourage you to go to the brand site and shop their assortment. We try to make it as easy as possible. Like I said, that extension, you can add it right to your Minoan cart. Ray, you can kind of speak to this, but hopefully it's a relatively easy shopping experience.
It is. I would have to say, if you're not on Chrome or you're not on your desktop, it's also very easy from your phone to just copy and paste into the Minoan platform. So it's really nice. So I was going to ask about, some things about project management. How would you kind of talk about that and kind of position that with Minoan and guests and clients as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So we mentioned that, everything is consolidated within one cart, and that works for a lot of our hosts for that project management to see tracking in one place. We are also working on different functionality to allow for more of that collaboration between designers and hosts, and then also what organization looks like. So we have some partners that are creating specific carts per room, and that's actually they're genius. It's for shipping purposes, so that when items ship, everything is labeled guest room 1 or living room. And so No, there's a lot of flexibility within the project management, and those tools will only get stronger throughout the year for sure. But a lot of that again was from listening to what our hosts needed, what our designers needed, and really trying to come up with the best tooling possible. I would say be creative, and if there's something that you don't see that you really feel would be helpful for project management, please reach out and give us that feedback, because we would love to work on that again in the coming quarters.
I have a question about revenue and like kickbacks. So if you have a case study or something of like a rock star property management or an individual owner who's constantly promoting, like if you'd like to purchase things that you've seen in this house, what's some of the additional revenue they can expect in like affiliate fees or kickbacks or whatever from their store?
That is a fantastic question. I will have to circle back with this group and follow up, because I don't want to say the wrong thing. It is, we have a couple thousand showrooms, and so we are seeing really enthusiastic adoption, and we do see that a lot of hosts are really keeping up with those showrooms. But as far as exact revenue numbers, data is still a bit thin. So let me get back to you with exactly what our hosts are seeing, especially those, like you said, those rock star hosts.
Yeah. And what are maybe some of the tactics that these rock stars might be doing to market beyond the, added communication? Like, is there anything in the unit beyond a QR code or?
What I see what I see that our hosts that are performing really well are doing is they are making sure that their showrooms are up to date. Certainly, a lot of the products are subject to retailers' inventory, and we know that fluctuates. And so our hosts that are making sure if there's a product in their property and in their showroom that does go out of stock, updating those links, giving alternates, like really making sure that it maintains its shoppability as opposed to becoming stagnant and a lot of the links are out of stock, etc. I think that is a huge unlock for our hosts. And then again, the ones that are really just ensuring that within every communication that they're sending to a guest, reminding them that they're welcome to shop the space, they should take home a piece of their stay. So just ensuring that communication is very, very robust.
Okay. So I'm seeing now, okay, I'm like, okay. So if you're like an online influencer in this space and you have a showroom, it's not necessarily the people that are staying in your property. It's anybody you send you your showroom, correct? So if I'm in Canada, like what are my limitations in that respect? Because I have a lot of the brands that you have that people love. Could I create a showroom? Because like Fable, for instance, Canadian company, they ship within Canada. A lot of these brands do. So can I have a showroom? Like what are my limitations being out, in Canada or outside of the US?
Yes, as long as the brands ship to Canada, I don't know that you would be limited in creating a showroom. Again, I would want to just confirm that, but it's exactly what you're talking about. It's just the only limitations are just the risk of promoting a showroom that many of your guests wouldn't be able to shop. So long as the brands do ship to Canada, no limitations come to mind. The only, I would just have to confirm that there's no sneaky like affiliate policies or anything, right. but I would imagine that it's pretty functional.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to explore that because your partnerships are so robust now and growing. There might be an opportunity for me to capitalize in there still, even though,
yeah.
I will take
Dina, I'm pretty sure Rove Concepts and
there's
they
lots.
ship to Canada, our house, Heller as well.
Yeah, add us.
3.
Cool. So just on my side, we'd have to do the due diligence of ensuring that the products that the showroom that we're building can ship to Canada. But okay, that's great.
But you get guests who aren't from Canada as well, right?
True. I just had a couple from Washington depart yesterday. Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
Okay, I'm in.
That would make a lot of
I'm
sense.
back. I have an account, but I just wasn't able to use it. But I'm back.
Yeah, let's get you set up.
Alex, I have one last question for you. And this has been really amazing to hear all about Minoan and to really get more into the details of behind the scenes. My question to you is this. A lot of people either don't have any vision or they need, only once they see something in a room, will they then think, oh, well, I like this part of what's been done, but that I need to change out for something else. So I don't know if this is even part of your roadmap, but I would love to see the ability to upload a Matterport virtual walkthrough or pictures of the rooms. And maybe you would need to use AI to design those rooms with potential pieces based on the partnerships that you have. And then I would be able to go in and do exactly what I just mentioned and say, okay, this room is, I like that painting. I don't care for the sofa. I like that chair over there, etc. So you could then change out things based on the partnerships that you have.
Lawrence, you must have bugged our company offsite that we just because this was a topic of conversation of how do we scale, how do we obviously maintain our really wonderful community of interior designers who are doing such a fantastic job. But for our independent hosts who might need a little bit more help, how do we scale design and recommendations? So again, while I can't say too much about what that might look like, it is absolutely something that we are looking into. We know that it would be valuable. I saw it constantly in hospitality design of you might not need to furnish an entire space, you might even not need to furnish an entire room, but you really are in need of a new sofa, or some large scale art would just transform the space. And so it's absolutely a conversation that we're having internally, and I'm really excited to be a part of that conversation, because to your point, I think that will just up level sourcing across the industry.
Alex, how can people log in and get an account with Minoan? Is there any qualification to become a Minoan member, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's a great question. So yes, Minoan is a gated B2B portal. And so we are, again, our segments are independent hosts of short-term rentals, property management groups, boutique hotels, and interior designers. And so we do ask for some business credentials during the join us flow, so long as you are indeed shipping to a property that is not your primary residence. We are very excited to work with you. And so it is Minoan.com is how we would invite you to join us during your initial onboarding. And then you are able to shop Minoan from there once you're approved. And it's a very quick approval process. We try to be very timely, so we know that when folks are needing to furnish or replenish, we want to make sure that we're there to meet those needs.
Super. Thank you again, Alex. We really appreciate your time today. This has been great. And for those of you watching, if you enjoyed this episode, please like it. Please share it with people that you know that this would be helpful. Join our group. And we meet every week on a Tuesday. We discuss a different topic in the short-term rental industry. And next week's topic will be the best amenities for success. So join us next week for this new topic. And thank you again for joining us. We are the real hosts of short-term rentals, and see you next week. Bye-bye for now. Thank you.